Well. So we meet again. It's been well over at least 3 years since the last time I've done something like this. Well, you know what? It's time to do it again! Alright, so first of all, I would like to apologize for stopping those top 10 videos. The truth is, one, when 2020 came and all of that COVID stuff started happening, well, I took a hit. I became a hermit, and you would think I would start doing more, but no, instead I started doing less. And then I got it myself, I became weaker, I'm getting older, and I'm not trying to make any excuses. I have no excuse. In fact, I do have one excuse actually. The real excuse as to why I have not been doing those top 10 videos is because I started to notice a pattern. And that pattern was that it was always the same every year. Always the same videos, always the same ones, maybe moving one or two spots, but it was always the same thing over and over and over. I tried to change it up by doing top 10 likes, top 10 comments, but I can only do that so many times before it gets repetitive. But the good news is, this year, I found a way to make it new. I found a way to make it different. So, what we're gonna do this year is, instead of doing a lifetime top 10, or instead of doing top 10 for 2023, but along of all the videos that have been uploaded throughout all the years, it's gonna be a top 10 since the last time I did a top 10, which means any video posted before 2020 is not eligible. Only the videos posted after January 1st, 2020 are available, or rather eligible, for this top 10. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started for a true top 10 out of years 2020, 2021, 2022, and of course, 2023! Also, yes, I'm balding.
Number 10. Come forth, Divine Dragon, and grant my wish, peas and carrots. Alright, this is the Radic Man we've got in 10th position for this year, well, for the last 3 years, top 10. And I gotta say, this is actually surprising that this is actually the 10 in the top 10, because this is not an episode where any real action actually happened. It was just an episode where I was using a lot of camera angles, as you can tell, and I had to do some magic tricks here and there just to get more characters on the scene. And as you can tell by this scene, I also used a lot. I mean, throughout the last few years, I've been using the photo editor a lot, and I mean a lot. I do have one character that allows me to go through the, what's it called, the invisible barrier, the walls, so I can actually look at things that I would normally be able to look at, or even put characters in places that I will not be able to. Unfortunately, I used to be able to do it a little more easily, but the glitch that was allowing me to do it seems to have been fixed throughout the years. But that's okay. I can still use the green screen, because you may have noticed by now, just like this one, yes, I used this shot, that shot where everybody was. Not everybody was on the stage there. The truth is, it was actually a lot of green screen, and I mean a whole freaking lot of green screen. The green screen from Dragon Ball vs. Custom Map has been a whole lot of help, and it's allowed me to get myself better. Even in this shot, look at this shot. It has literally all of the characters. This is a lot of work, but it's worth it. And I think this proves how far I've come when it comes to putting more than one character in one shot, or more than 3, considering there are ways to put 3 characters in Xenoverse 2, although it's not. You need to be in the parallel quest for that, and well, obviously this is not always possible because I won't always have them not move. Either way, I feel like I'm kind of grumbling at this point, so I think I'm just gonna move on and head over to the next episode in the lineup, because yeah, this episode is just showing you how much custom stuff and how much editing I've been doing throughout the years, and it's a lot. Anyway, let's move on to number 9. Number 9, Vegeta disappears. Menace of the Duplicate Vegeta! Oh hey look, it's Raging Blast 2! A little reminder of how the channel started, because you see, Event 2 I've been using mostly Raging Blast 2, no, not Raging Blast 2. Event 2 I've been using mostly Xenoverse 2 for these reenactments in the past, what, years now? Let us never forget that the way this channel got birth is that when I started making reenactment for Raging Blast 2 because of its lack of story mode. That's how the channel was born, which is why this used to be known as the Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2 Dragon Ball Z Reenactments channel. Now of course we're doing Dragon Ball Super, so we have moved on, and we also did the original Dragon Ball back in the past. But also I may be, again, using mostly Xenoverse 2, but as proven by some tidbits that we just witnessed in this episode that is being shown on the screen right now, I have also been using other games besides Xenoverse 2. I've also been using Raging Blast 2, again, wait, no, I'm repeating myself, but I've also been using Ultimate Tenkaichi or other games, even Xenoverse 1 has been used, but also, there's another little thing that is to notice about this episode right now that's being shown on the screen, this number 9 episode. And what's there to notice is that, well, when I started making this episode, the map for Planet Potofer did not exist on the Xenoverse Mod website. But, as you may have noticed in the last episode of this saga, I actually started using the map that's proper. The thing is, it only started happening at the very end of the episode because, well, that's when the map came out. And as you know, I've been very sparse when it comes to editing the episodes of the reenactments lately. But it was either using it at the end and leaving the rest as is, or just redoing everything. And honestly, redoing everything for me was not it. So I just chose to keep it as is, which is why the sky is that's why I'm using the Yamcha Desert map at sunset instead of the Potofur map. I could have fixed it, but I did not want to give myself that extra work. And yeah, let's move on to number 8. Number 8. Don't forget your Saiyan pride. Vegeta versus the 6th Universe Saiyan. Alright, so I know I said that by doing this method of top 10s, I was trying to keep it fresh, but you know, I've had so many episodes uploaded on the channel that I guess keeping it fresh and having only new episodes is quite literally impossible. The thing is, I actually went back in the top 2020 most commented top 10, and I realized that this episode right there was actually in it, which I guess made sense because that was actually uploaded in 2020, if I remember correctly. So it makes sense. It would be bound to be in there. It was fresh back then. So the fact that even 3 years later, this episode is still part of the top 10 most viewed episode, because yes, that's the way I've been doing this. I'm doing most viewed, if I had not been clear about this already. So it's all most viewed episodes in between 2020 and 2023 included. All the way down to whatever the last few days were at the time of me recording this thing. But yeah, so the thing is, this episode was in the last top 10 I made, and that's okay. It was bound to happen. We're probably gonna have other repeats, but that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm okay with it. And hopefully you're okay with it too, because the fact that they happen more than once in these top 10s, it also means that, well, simple enough. It means that you guys enjoy it. You guys like it. You guys like my work. And that's what keeps me going, even though it's been years of me doing this. I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting older, and I'm getting tired. And I really hope, despite all of this, I can keep on going as long as I need to finish all and any kind of reenactments. You know what? Let's go see what's on number 6. I wonder what it is, because so far we've had only super reenactments. Surely we have more super reenactments, right? Number 7. A develop time skip Counter-Strike. Here comes Goku's new move. Yeah, it sure does look like I was right. We have yet another Dragon Ball Super reenactment in the load for us here. And I'ma be honest, yes, this was also in the very last top 10 that I made. I don't remember which position it was in, but it was also there. I'll be honest, actually though, I think this was one of my favorite Dragon Ball Super reenactments to make, because this is actually fun to make. I'm honest, I don't have much to say about it, but working on the Goku vs It fight, it was fun, and I enjoyed it. I must say, I don't really fully remember everything about it because it's been over 3 years since the last time I did it, but it's I can't think of anything about what I want to say here. I don't think there's much to say, to be honest. I mean, there was a lot of no, I can't think of anything. I guess I don't have anything special to say about this one. I'm sorry. I guess we'll just move on and to the next Dragon Ball Super reenactment to comment on. Number 6. The BB Secret. Oh hey, would you look at that? I actually thought this would be a whole only Dragon Ball Super reenactments in this actual top 10 at this point, but I guess number 6 is proving me wrong. This is actually not only Super. This is also getting a Dragon Ball GT episode. And, you know, it's kind of surprising to see GT in the top 10. I mean, it's happened before, but considering the reputation that GT has, it always surprises me to actually see GT reenactments be part of the most liked episode, or at least the most viewed episode, I guess I should say. However, I've already commented on this episode that's right here, because in 2020 this was also part of the top 10, which means I've already said my piece about this episode. I've already said that the reason the map I'm using in this episode with the fight here that you witness on the screen is the wrong one, because at the time of me making the episode, the M4 Planet map did not actually exist, which is why I had to resort to using whatever I felt was the closest. But either way, I've already commented. I don't really have much to say about this episode, beside the fact that it was actually the last of the saga that I made, because I extracted everything from a movie version of Dragon Ball GT, the Black Star Dragon Ball Saga, and that's what I extracted, and this was the last episode of the reenactment. I just combined a bunch of episodes together, and that was it. Let's move on to number 5 and see if we either stay in something different or get back to Super. Number 5. Turn your anger into strength. Vegeta's Full Bore Battle. Alright, it seems that in number 5 we have achieved an episode that was not part of a top 10 in the past, at least as far as I can remember. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I honestly do not remember this episode being part of a top 10 in the past. And I gotta say, this is looking to be quite a bit of a super top 10, because we've had quite a lot of super reenactments so far in the top 10. But enough of that, let's just comment on the episode on the screen. So as you can tell here, this was back at a time where I was still able to no-clip into the areas that the characters would normally not be able to no-clip into, but unfortunately the no-clip glitch I've been using has been fixed since then, and I am no longer able to do it. So I only have one see-through character that can no-clip. I have personally no idea how I can no-clip through the invisible walls like you're clearly seeing me do here with every character that's on the screen. Like, it is clearly out of bounds right now, and I don't know how I will do it without the glitch I used to be using to do it. So until I can figure something out, I'm gonna have to make really good use of the green screen, because I really wish I would be able to actually reproduce this glitch, because this was so useful. It was actually useful to the point I was able to access areas I would not be able to access, and we could see parts of the map we would never be able to see. But now I can't do it. I just can't. I don't know how I could get any character to no clip. So I'm gonna have to, like I said, make use of a green screen if I ever want to get into areas I shouldn't be getting into, because the only character that can no clip is my see-through character, and it's the only one I can use for this. I don't know. I wish I could do more, but it seems that right now it's not the case, and I apologize for that. I really wish I could. Maybe one day I'll figure it out, or if you have an idea on how I could make it so any characters can no clip through the invisible wall, please share with me. That could be very useful information for me. Anyway, let's move on to the next one and see what else we got in store. Number 4. Piccolo vs Frost. Stake it all on the Special Beam Cannon. Alright, this is quite super. We have yet another Dragon Ball Super reenactment episode in this top 10. And I'll be honest, once again, I don't think this one was in the top 10 in the previous years. If it was, well, I guess I'm wrong. But once again, in this episode, you're going to see that, like I just mentioned for the previous one, I am making good use of the no-clip glitch I had uncovered. And I really wish I knew how to actually reproduce that glitch that's unfortunately been fixed. I really wish I could do it, but that's okay. because I'm still able to do things, and despite the fact that the no clip glitch is not a thing anymore, unless really, if somebody knows, if anybody has any ideas on how I could actually do that, like the characters being up where they're not supposed to be, please share with me. Share your knowledge with me. That could really be useful. But this was quite an interesting episode to make, because throughout the entire episode we had to remember that Piccolo was charging up his special beam cannon, but obviously I can't keep his two fingers on his forehead when I'm moving with him, so we just had to assume he was. But I gotta say, wow, look at that. Even though I don't use a no-clip glitch for the fight itself, I do also use the green screens, because green screens are also very useful. This was actually a really good episode, and I'm proud of it. No-clip glitch all around, green screen all around, everything that I could use to make the episode better has been used. I'm proud of that saga, and actually, you may have noticed, this was actually a saga that's been making a lot of the top 10. In fact, let's take a look.
Well, if you've been counting, you'll notice. So far, we've had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 Dragon Ball Super reenactment in the entire top 10. That's right. For this year's top 10, which encompasses all of the last 3 years since I've been skipping those, we have 5 out of 10 Dragon Ball Super reenactments. You know what this means? This means that half of the top 10 is made of Dragon Ball Super reenactments. And, well, there's been so far a total of 6 reenactments in the top 10. Because coming up next is gonna be the top 3. And, well, folks, I've got to announce to you, this is over. What's over? Reenactments for the top 10. That's right. For the top 3, there will be absolutely no reenactments in it. That's right. You thought this was the top 10 reenactments, didn't you? Well, here's the thing. This is the top 10 of every single video I've uploaded in the past. Now, obviously, if it was an announcement or a short, I don't know, like the Dragon Ball Super opening of the Goku Black Saga, I'm not including that in the top 10, because this is just a little announcement I made. But actual episodes are in the top 10. And for the top 3, it's not reenactments. Not anymore. For the top 3, it's actually the what if stories. So whether it be Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Beavers. Yeah, this is about to get awkward, isn't it? Just like 3 years ago.
In the third position, we've got Struggling Battles. Well, it would appear that in the third position, we've got a Dragon Ball Z episode. And I'm gonna be real, I think this is actually the first time ever we get a Dragon Ball Z episode part of the top 10. So this is new. I wanted to keep it fresh this year, and here we go. Completely, clearly fresh. This is exactly what I wanted. And I know Dragon Ball Z has been rather stale when it comes to new episodes lately, and I do apologize for that. I mean, hey, this episode itself has been... I'm pretty sure I made that episode that's on the screen right now over 2 years ago. And it's only this year that I release the next one. And yes, 1 episode a year is never gonna cut it if I want to go through the entire Dragon Ball Z saga. Well, I don't know if I can make it through all the Dragon Ball Z saga, because Z is basically Dragon Ball Z, and U stands for Evil Wins. If you didn't know that, now you do. And I don't know how far I'm gonna go to keep the quote-unquote heroes alive as we battle to lose against the villains. And I have to think on how I keep the planet Earth alive if everybody loses. So there's a lot of thinking on how to progress and keep the villains winning and have all of the arcs actually happen still. There's probably gonna be a lot of resurrecting with Dragon Balls. I mean, I already know when I get to the Namek Saga, because yes, I have always planned to get to the Namek Saga at least, and have the Frieza Saga at least. And I'm gonna try to not do what I did with Reverse and just give up, and just never have anything happen ever again. Granted, with Reverse it was my fault, and oh look, still using the no glitch, the no clip glitch here. Anyway, I'm rambling, I'm losing track of what I've been saying, but also, once again, we have a good display of me moving to a different map because it was not available at the time I was making the story, and then it became available, so I just switched to it. But yeah, I'm not making stuff that I already made just so I can switch to the new map. I'm just switching, I'm just doing it, I'm just switching. Anyway, let's move on and see what's in number 2 and 1, and probably get awkward. You know why. In second place we have Captain's Defeat. Well, here it is, as could have probably been predicted. That's right. In the second position we've got a Dragon Ball Reverse episode. And not any Dragon Ball Reverse episode. Yep, just like I mentioned 3 years ago, when I did my last top 10, this was in it too. And what I talked about back then is how much I fucked up. I fucked up because I just stopped working on them. But in my defense, my computer and my PlayStation 3 were dead, and as you can see here, that was at the time where I was still mostly using Raging Blast 2 for the fights. And while this happened, when COVID hit all around the world, quarantine hit, lockdown hit, everything hit, it was a mess. But that was not an excuse for me because I didn't have it back then. Since then I've had it twice, but that doesn't matter. The thing is, this was the second to last episode of the Dragon Ball Reverse series of 2018. Since then, I have not heard from the creator, despite all of my attempts to get back to him. And now 3 years later, I honestly have given up. I don't really care anymore. So, if you were hoping for the series to conclude, well, I got bad news. It's probably never gonna happen. In first position, we've got the end of the Ginyu Force. Alright, well, this is it folks. We have reached the end. This is the first place. And, you guessed it, this was actually the episode that aired after what we just saw in number 2. Number 1 is the last ever released of the Dragon Ball Reverse series episode, at least for the 2018 version. And like I said, this episode was actually made after I lost all contacts with the original creator. Me making this episode was basically, I don't know if I'd call it a call for help, but it was basically me just releasing the episode for the sake of releasing the episode because I had the script, it had been sent to me before everything happened, and well, months and months later, I finally managed to finish the episode, and I released it. I was hoping that maybe it would get the original creator to come out of the woodworks, but as you can tell, we're now 3 years later. I have not heard anything, and as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, I don't care anymore. I don't think I can actually be bothered to ever want to finish this. It's that bad for me. I've lost interest. But don't worry, Reverse may be done and over forever, but we still have Zoo, right? I'm definitely not making one episode every 2 years. That's definitely gonna happen. I don't know why I'm talking about something other than reverse now all of a sudden. Anyway, this episode is the grand winner of this year's top 10.
And there you have it, folks. This was the top 10 of all reenactments / what if stories for the last 3 years. I hope you've enjoyed. This is gonna be it for today. And hopefully, the next years are gonna be much better for us. Hopefully, I'm going to finally get back into the swing of things. I actually really do want to get back into the swing of things. I hope to at least manage to finish at least one more saga of Dragon Ball Super. And maybe, who knows, maybe eventually finish, I don't know, wild idea here, finish the ongoing Saiyan saga of the Dragon Ball Z series. Hey, that could be nice, to actually at least finish one more saga of that series, right? And who knows where this could lead. I don't even know how I want to end this saga right now, but only time will tell. With that said and done, I hope you enjoyed this year's top 10, and I will see you next year for another top 10, hopefully, maybe. But I will also see you for everything else that goes on during the year. But for now, we're ending. So, happy holidays, hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year! Oh, and stay tuned for after the credits. There might be a little surprise.
日后六七八，日后六七八，スーパーシェシェチャオハウハウジ。名前も知らないお玉にまたがり、4000年のモンスター。かき混ぜてたちまち仕上がり。